record to the cloud. All right, cool. So we're recording, ready to rock. So, guys, I just want to start off by thinking it's 8:05. This is May 6th. So we got some stuff we got to get accomplished today. I want to start off by pulling up the spreadsheet. Dang, I got a screen share on yours then. So let's do that. Let me pull that up. So let me pull up the spreadsheet. Clearwood responses. Where is that?
I got it up.
You have it up?
Yeah.
So if you could hop on the Zoom link and then you could click screen share, that'd be good. I know. All right, so let's go ahead and start. So we have a list of things that we want to get accomplished today. But first off, I do want to give some recognition. Last week, as far as our spreadsheet goes, while we're pulling it up, you guys can have access to it and see it. We got some stuff done. We last week we got. Let's see here. So this is our actual. Our goal was to have 80 PR set up. Our goal was to send out 1,000 Facebook messages, and your goal was to get 80 three-way text messages sent out. It worked. Go figure, right? We actually ended up getting to 1025, so right over 1,000 Facebook messages, 80 three-way text messages. We didn't quite get to 80 PR setup, but we set up 69. But here's what's cool. We ended up launching 6 people this last week, coming from launching 1 the week before, or 1 or 2 the week before, right? So we were going from launching 1 or 2. We launched 6 this last week, and here's what's exciting, is we already have 13 set for training for this week. So we have 13 set for training that's coming up this week. Plus, we just set up, I don't know, probably 30 PRs tonight. So we're around 30 PRs set up tonight. So we're making some moves. We're making some progress, which is exciting. The first thing I want you to write down, you probably already know this, but I want you to write hashtag SAD. What is hashtag SAD?
Small Actions Daily.
Small Actions Daily. Our Small Actions Daily are making a big impact on our business, and I just want to thank all of you for doing your Small Actions Daily. So let's do a quick rapid fire speed. What's hot? What do you appreciate? What are you excited about right now? We'll keep it under 10 seconds, just so we can kind of go around the horn. It's your first Sunday. It's our first staff meeting with all our staff together in one space. What's hot? What do you appreciate? We'll start with Will, then we'll go across to RJ to Chelsea. And then we'll go to Ryan and then Mason. And then I guess, Brenda, you want to be a special guest tonight sitting in, which is totally cool. And we'll go over to Jesse, and then we'll finish up with Taylor. So 10 seconds or less. What's hot? What do you appreciate? What are you excited about right now? Please.
What's hot is I'm back home and pretty excited for summer. What do I appreciate is blanking. Pass. And then, was that the other question?
We'll stick with that. The other question, what's hot? What do you appreciate? It's one or the other. Just pick one. And what are you most excited about as far as at this point in time? We'll go RJ. Or go ahead and finish that, Will.
Okay. I'm pretty excited about running some interviews, and we said a lot of people last week, so we have some pretty good interviews so far.
Nice.
What's hot water day? I got AP testing coming up. Got chemistry and physics next week. And the thing that I want to say about right now will probably be like the launch people that we have coming in for training, things like that. Which I can see it's like I'm in it, that it's starting to blow up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty cool. And I'll go Chelsea. I want to interject.
So what's hot was I hit all of my goals that I set for myself last week, and I also set up APRs tonight. And what I'm most excited about, graduating and just being back in the office.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Chelsea. Sierra was someone she ran a one-person interview for, who's now at almost $3,000 for her first weekend, right? Plus, you ran the interviews for pretty much everyone this week that we had in training, and that's pretty exciting. It's pretty exciting that the 6 we launched, I think you interviewed all 6 of them now I'm thinking about it. So welcome back week was pretty good, pretty effective, all the people that you interviewed and set up. So kudos to you. Great job. So then we'll go to Mason, Ryan, and then we'll get a quick one from Brenda, special guest, and then we'll get Taylor and Jesse.
All right, so what's hot? I set my first couple PRs tonight and kind of boost my confidence from the first time I tried it.
Mm-hmm.
What I appreciate, a little beach vacation this next couple days. So.
Yeah, exciting, Ryan.
What's hot is I hit all my goals for this week except just the PR one, but I got 6 set tonight, so I'm 4 away from that goal.
Mm.
And what I'm most excited about is being able to start coaching people this summer.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We keep recruiting. We'll give opportunities for coaching. Brenda, 10 seconds left. What's how we appreciate? What are you excited about?
Got a phone.
Got a phone.
There you go.
Hey, I'll take that. That is exciting. We'll go Jesse and finish up Taylor, please.
What's hot right now are definitely exams, just trying to get through this week and then back home. And I'm excited about getting through so we can get back home.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. And then Taylor, please finish us up before I take back over.
Yeah, I'd say what's hot is seeing the success among our efforts throughout the recruiting process that we're going through, and then I would say I'm most excited about just being home over the summer, enjoying Florida and doing the job.
Yeah, and I'm excited, man. I have like 2 or 3 of your friends set up for training this week, so I'm pretty pumped up about that. We have Aram and I know Celeste are 2 of the ones that immediately come to my mind that are set up for this week. So we appreciate you helping out with the team building for sure. So our next week's goal, where we're at, just so you know we're on the same page, is we want to launch 7. So this is our week. We wanted to launch 7 this last week. We got to 6. We want to launch 7 this week. We want to set up 105 PRs for this, and this is for us to stay on pace with our business plan. This is according to the business plan. Just like every time we set up a business plan, we set up a schedule for the week. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but we got to follow something. This is our playbook. So for us to stay on pace towards our thrill of the mill, this is what needs to happen. 25 from me, 50 from the full-timers, and 30 from the part-timers. That's what needs to happen. As far as the Facebook and the 3-ways, well, that wasn't a part of the business plan, but that's what fuels the rest. And that's why we're going to reestablish some new goals. And you have that spreadsheet pulled up. So you're going to enter everyone's numbers in.
Week 3.
Just like we did. This is, week 3, just like we did last week. So we had everyone give out their numbers for the week, and then we figured out how much you're going to do, what days you're going to do what. And Will's gonna enter that in. Now, remember the 3 questions as far as our new week's agreements. What will you do this week? And you could write these down so that way when we get to you, it's going to be real quick. When will you do it? And then how will Mike know? Those are the 3 most important questions. What will you do? When will you do it? And how will Mike know? So the efforts worked last week. It worked. It was 1 week to the next. Worked really nice. We want to continue moving this in direction. If one thing gets done, this is the only thing that's done today. It's perfect. So I want to ideally move through this pretty quick. So if you could just go through what will you do? When will you do it? How will Mike know? We already know that how will Mike know, because I like, by the way, what do you think about our little emoji system, right? Hopefully, I don't even care about your opinion. That's what we're doing. So when you send your your messages for Facebook, you use that little emoji thing. And then when you do the 3-way, you do a little family, the parents with the kid. That's the funniest one in my opinion. And then you have the when you set your 5, with the fingers and whatnot when you set up your PRs, right? So that's how Mike knows. If that doesn't get into our group text, Mike doesn't know. I had a few of you through growing pains sending me one-on-one messages, and I redirect you to the group. I go through the group at 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. I update our spreadsheet, and if it's not in the group, then it means it wasn't in Rollo, if you will. That's the only way I know it got done, is if you post it in the group then before the night is over. So let's go down the line of what will you do. So what will you do this week?
Totals or day by day?
Total. So we're doing totals first, and then everyone's going to post in the group when they're going to do what. But let's get everyone's totals first. So we'll start with Will. So what will you do? And what are the 3 magic numbers that we care about? We have 3 numbers. How many PRs you're going to set up? How many messages are you going to send? And how many 3-way text messages are you going to do? So let's put these numbers right here. So we got Will. We'll start with you.
25.
So 25 PRs set.
200.
And then Facebook messages we'll send 200.
And 10.
And 3-way text we'll send 10. And then the next person should be Chelsea, right? And Chelsea, what are you going to do? 25. 250. 10. And then who's next? If you go in order. Ryan. So Ryan.
Okay, Facebook 200,
Mm-hmm.
3-way 10, and then PRs 15.
And this is until today, until Saturday. just so you know. So you have till Saturday. That's the cycle. Just so everyone's aware of what we're talking about when we do these numbers Sunday through Saturday. So that includes what you did today, just so you guys know. Who's next? Well,
Mason.
so Mason.
Say PR 10. And then I don't have any more.
So be either Facebook or Insta. I mean,
Insta, let's just say 30 Instagram, 50 Instagram messages.
so 50 Instagram.
And I don't have any more other PRs in my spreadsheet of my own to send through with text to.
So it's up to
Once I
you.
get the-
Do you want to add any, or do you want to just call it a 0 for the week?
I can call for a 0 for the week for now, but
Okay.
once I get numbers from Instagram.
Okay. Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor.
Taylor.
So with this being actually finals week, I'm gonna stick with 0 personal PR setup. I'll probably go to 20 messages sent, and then 10 three-way text messages.
All right, and next
Jesse.
person, Jesse.
All right, yeah. So 0 personal PRs, and then for Facebook, let's do 20 as well, and 10 three-way texts.
And RJ.
10, 50, 10.
10, 50, 10.
You have your numbers.
And then me, I got to get to 25 this week. So that's my number.
Okay.
All right. So does that, I don't know how that equates, but can we get a sum? Oh, as far as Facebook, I'll do the rest, whatever that has to be. 200, 4, 6, 50, 7, 50, 790. So that's, so it gets another 10. So I'll send 210 to get us to 1,000. And how many PRs is that? 25, 25 and 25, that's 75, 80, 90, and that's 100 PRs. Is that accurate? Can you double check that? 50, 75. Yeah, 110. So 110 versus our 105. So that puts us there. If everyone does our part, if we all do what we say we're going to do, we'll hit our number this week. And then when these two gentlemen get back and everyone's full-fledged, like full on board, part-timers do 15 PRs, full-timers we all do 25. You guys do 25. And then I'll up it to 30. Then we're ready to rock and roll. It's going to be we're in full swing. Pretty exciting stuff. So let me transition into some opening comments. Okay. Well, before I transition, actually, when will you do it? So everyone, go to the staff group real quick. Go to the staff group, and you could even just copy and paste the template of what you what you did last week. Just copy and paste it, and just change the dates. Can someone just copy and paste the template that I posted, and then everyone else could just use that template? Does anyone have as easy access to it?
Yeah.
So Chelsea's on it. She's going to paste the template to the summer group, and then all of you guys can go real quick, copy the template, paste it, and just put the days of what you're doing what and comment. And that way I can hold you guys accountable and send you my text messages, which I'm sure you guys will never get sick of. So, but Mike's on his A game right now. Mike's on his A game. And it's interesting enough is this is it's easier for me than I thought it was going to be, because it's very tedious to micromanage you guys. Very tedious. Not very. In the past, it wasn't very fun for me to micromanage, but you guys are a very exciting group to work with.
So I sent 50 Facebook messages today. Would that count?
Oh, of course.
towards-
Of course, it counts towards this number because the last week's done. Yeah. So everything that you did today, you just want to put in your Sunday agreements, but just delete. Then just click delete for all. Because
Well, but the thing I messed okay, so I sent one Instagram message, and I have 50 so I guess it could be one.
okay. 51.
Yeah.
1,001. And then I'll send 2,200 in there.
It's gonna be 1,000.
Oh, that's right. And for the record, while you guys are finishing this, I'm sending messages from Brendan Maz's Facebook from last year, and we launched 2 people from that, Mandy and Stephanie. So just so you know, Mandy Lewis and Stephanie Town was from Brendan Maz's Facebook. So if you have a friend that's on the team that you, kind of like what I did with Brendan, I will pay them $25. That's what I'm paying Brendan. Any one of his Facebook friends that I launch from his Facebook, I give them $25 if they just complete training. So I give them $50, or I'm giving them $50 a month for 2 friends. So if you have a friend on the team, so I don't know,
Could
maybe
be someone who was on the team.
yeah, it could be anyone who would give you access to their Facebook to say, hey, can I send messages to your friends? If you're not active on Facebook, but maybe they are, and they're popular, it's like, yeah, I don't care. You can send a message to my friend, $25 a friend. Some people might sell their friends out for, $25 a friend. All they have to do is start working with the company. If they get the job and they get hired and they start working here, $25. Just a thought. I mean, it's an invitation to everyone. All right. Did Chelsea, can you look and see if anybody has not sent theirs yet? Or
I'm working on it.
so Ryan's working on hers. So you don't put their daily projections in there, just so you know. Yeah, that's what I put in. That's like the actuals.
So do I not put it out?
No. The projections just stay in the app, and then I go through and I just message each person individually and say, "Hey, let's get your stuff done today." Cool. So let me go to our opening comments. So I'll give 30 seconds for anybody else that needs to send theirs. Is Taylor? What's that?
Everyone's good.
Everyone's good except Ryan. Ryan,
Ryan
finished now?
just sent it.
Awesome. Perfect. And so Taylor, are you with us still? I just don't see your face. So I want to go ahead and transition into my opening comments, and then we're going to get some stuff done. So as far as our opening comments for tonight, hey, what's up? I have your cheese knife on the desk next door with the sheath. So we did an exercise as our TLA several months back, and Chelsea might remember this, Will might remember this, and we did an exercise of what makes our game changer team unstoppable. That was the question. This was after coming off a $600,000 summer. It was like $450,000 in new business. We went through what made our game changers team unstoppable. And we made this whole long, giant list on the board. And that list included like push weeks and champions club and managing through agreements, having a tack list, finishing strong, standards, fun, 10K focus for reps because we had 25 people sell 10 grand last summer. Consistency, team builders, resourceful, WhatsApp culture. These are all these things that came up on the board of what made our team unstoppable last summer. And then I went through and everyone had to rank their top 1. And Chelsea and Will might remember this. And it came back as these 3 were the 3 things that they felt made our team unstoppable. And I want you to write these 3 down because this was the consensus of our top TLA inductees last year. And that was number 1 is willing to give effort. Willing to give effort was number 1. Number 2 was coachable. And number 3 was willing to communicate. So communication. They were willing to give effort, they were coachable, and they were willing to communicate. Effective communication amongst with the staff, with each other, whatever it might be. And those were the top 3. That was the consensus of what made us unstoppable, because all of those other things were all encompassing underneath the banner of one of those 3 things. So what does that mean? We started a foundation last summer that you all are a part of to continue that trend of life. If we want to continue to be unstoppable, those are the 3 things that make us unstoppable. Being willing to learn, being coachable, communicating effectively, one-on-one with me, in the group stats. If you guys remember last summer, it was like fire, flames, emojis, gifts, like everyone kind of supporting one another, getting all, we were all in one. Everyone was in unison. Everyone was supporting each other. It was a lot of fun. Team nights were great. You might remember 3-on-3 basketball. You might remember soccer. We might remember volleyball, right? We might remember some of this culture that we had, this fun, but that was because people were willing to work hard, play hard. It was a lot of fun. It was a great culture. So I will tell you now, this is probably the best time you could possibly be an organization because the foundation has been laid. So now that the foundation has been laid, we already know what the standards are. We already know what works. Now it's time to execute. Now it's time to use what we figured out last summer. If you were here 3 summers ago, 4 summers ago, 5 summers ago like Dylan, we didn't have stuff figured out yet. We were the breakthrough team of the year in 2016. 2017, we figured it out. 2018, now we grow it. You couldn't be on a better team at a better time than right now in this location. This is the best time to be here because of, in my opinion, 4 things. Number one, and I would encourage you to write these down. Number one, we are willing to innovate. We are innovating right now. We're innovating with this meeting right now. We are innovating. Number 2 is we are flexible. I was very rigid. The Mike Abramowitz several years ago was very rigid. If you told me you had a conflict in the past, it's either you move your conflict or you're removed. Like that was it. It was very rigid, very cut and dry. There wasn't this, it was very black and white. And I lost a lot of really good people because of that. So the flexibility of Mike Abramowitz and my values have shifted, which in my opinion is in your best interest, which is exciting. You showed up late for a meeting, it was off with your head. There wasn't jokes. It wasn't like subtle jokes. It was, I made you feel like crap. It wasn't good. It wasn't healthy. And that's what we flirted with $500,000 in sales. In my opinion, the upside opportunity right now is better than it ever has been. Between the surge opportunity with Dylan, we didn't have a CSP. We didn't have somebody that we tried to with Jason, but it just wasn't the best fit. Now we have a homegrown CSP with Dylan who's helping us with this surge program. And then we have a branch program that is unlike it ever has been before. There's something called no receptionist right now. That program in itself was such a pain to have to hire and work and manage this other sector of the business and pay them out of pocket hourly. I know RJ was the receiving end of this, but he was on the very end of that program. It is different now. So I would say the upside opportunity in our business, and lastly, is the clarity of your management staff, being myself and Jeff Gamboa. The clarity of Jeff and myself is in your favor because we know what we want. Not that I didn't know what I wanted before, but I was very much chasing PB&J, Grab, and my Cutco office. I was chasing a lot all at once, and I wasn't settled down. I wasn't married yet. Lindsay and I were still figuring stuff out of what direction we were going. But now, being grounded, I'm married, my house, set. There's not much gray area in my life. Like everything's pretty certain at this point in time. Same thing with Jeff. He's getting married this year. He knows where he's at, knows what he's working towards. With the clarity of managers, it makes it easy for us to say yes and no to certain people and certain things. That's all in your favor. That's all in your favor. This is the best time for you to be in our organization. So what I put on here so you understand the state of our business is 2018, the summer of last year, 2017 was the foundation. 2018 is where we grow our business. We want to get to the point where we can grow it to that, not just $1 million. Like we're going to hit $1 million. Like that's inevitable. We're going to hit that. But just grow it to a place where that foundation, it's like that next layer of foundation. We just continue to grow it. So that way in 2019, you probably heard this word before. When there's a word, we scale our district team. We scale it. That's when I have people like Dylan has another Dylan. 2019, we have 2 Dylans. That's maybe not him, but someone like him that's working and running another CSP type of culture where everything's not dependent on one person. We can scale it and have someone that we can really help us run our thing. And maybe an apprentice that grows with Dylan. But in 2020, that's when I use the word sustainability. That's when in 2020, what I see in 2020, like in 2018 right here, we have 4 branches and 1 district. Next year, we have 5 branches and a DOM. I'm targeting, just so you know, is Dalila Kolar to come back as my DOM next summer. That's my goal. My goal is for her to come back as a senior branch. She's already run 2 great businesses. Instead of putting her out as a DM, have her come back for 4 months as a DOM, and I think we'll rip some shit up. Like, it could be very, very exciting with that. And then every year there on out, we have 5 branches. We pump out a district and a CSP. Every year it's clockwork. Every year we have 5 branches, 1 district, and 1 CSP. And what's going to happen is my goal is by that point is the district managers that some of them only do it for 3 years and then they go and own their own business or go do a startup or move on to corporate America or go back to school or do whatever they want, where they're only doing it for 3 years and it's like drop, reload, and then there's another district comes in 3 years later and just takes over that market. because there's only so many territories we can really put a district manager in. So that's kind of my vision of where we're at. So I'm sharing this with you because where you are is bigger than just you. What your activities are, your actions, all the data that we're collecting, it's bigger than just you. And I want to remind you that it's more than a paycheck. It's more than dollars. It's more than just the experience for your resume. You're a part of something extremely special, that's going to impact a lot of people's lives and their livelihood in the future. So I want you to take that seriously. So that's why I created, I didn't create it. Jeff Gamboa created the idea of a branch journal, to journal with the intent of learning every single day about your daily activities, your daily operations, with the goal, so next summer, you could be one of the individuals that at least can earn a branch manager spot. Okay, that's the goal. So you learn with that intent. Now, whether or not you earn it, whether or not it's a good fit, you learn with that intent. So Chelsea was the first one that got the journal. Taylor and Jesse, I have your journals. How do we use that thing? So I'm going to call on you in just a moment. How do we use your journal? Now, here's what I'm going to say. Two things. Number one, if you feel like you might forget that journal at home or leave it somewhere, what do you think I'm going to invite you to do? Leave it here at the office. I encourage you to leave it in a filing cabinet, and that way, anytime you're going to learn something new, you're going to be here. You might as well just leave that journal here because it's strictly for anytime you are in the office and you learn something from Mike or from the business, you capture it in the journal. So Chelsea's been doing this. If you don't mind sharing your best practice on how you're using the journal and how they could use the journal and maybe your top 3 to 5 things you've learned only in the several days that we've been working together so far this summer. So I'm kind of putting you on the spot here if you don't mind, but how you're using the journal, best practice, and then what are maybe like 3 to 5 takeaways or light bulbs that jumped out with you that might be able to help them so far. And this is where you guys can capture them in your journals or your notebooks and then maybe transfer it over if you don't have the journal with you today.
So one of the biggest things that I'm doing in my journal, which is like just helping me remember what I did that day, is at the top before I even write like what my biggest takeaways from that day was. I like write what I did that day. So like how many PRs I sent, how many Facebook messages I sent, things like that. So like for example.
So the outcomes for the day.
Yeah. And then just pretty much whenever you notice anything that Mike does, or it could even be how something's like just set around the office that you notice, like if you're running an interview, it just caught someone's eye or something like that. Like I write it all down just so I know. Probably one of my biggest takeaways is just like, well, I've been running a lot of interviews. So with running interviews, it's like leading with questions. It's probably one of my biggest takeaways to get like conversation going with the people that you're interviewing. And just like how to drive a sales week and all that kind of stuff from the managing side. And yeah.
Good. So I appreciate that. I know I kind of put you on the spot there. So here's what I'll tell you. I like Chelsea's idea of putting whatever your results for the day. So you almost could do a daily recap of what I get done for the day. So you could start there. So for the 5 of you that were here today, what did you get accomplished today? You can put that right in there. And then you could ask the next question is, what did I learn? What were the lessons I learned today? Takeaways from the day. And then it could be, something as simple as a phrase. It could be something as simple as an idea or a concept. I know with, for example, Ryan, I know when we did her debrief, she's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know the kitchen tools were used for that. Like, it was something small, but these are like little things that you want to be aware of and capture as much as possible. Or it could be something big. Like today, we had a big breakthrough. I'll tell you right now, that kid Dante, who I'm meeting with, shoot, if that's a name that's really a big name this summer, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a flop. Maybe he doesn't even show up for his interview. But that's a big name. You guys just learned resourcefulness. That's like huge lesson to learn at such a young age. Where it's like instead of being a victim of like, we don't have people to call, so we'll just sit here and twiddle our thumbs. No. We are proactive when we create recruits, we create results. So I think that's great. So something to keep in mind, use that branch journal to capture as much as possible.
Also, before you leave the office, make sure Mike debriefs with you every day.
That's important. Always make sure Mike debriefs with you every day. So it could be quick. Some of them it's going to be quick. Some of them might take 10 or 15 minutes. But I got to make sure that I'm debriefing with you so you retain some of the info, because you might not even remember some of the lessons you learned. Be like, hey, did you catch that? It's like, oh, man, I forgot. I didn't realize that was a good lesson, right? So we capture some stuff, okay? So let me kind of come up for it before I transition, because the next topic is our summer 2018. I just want to set the foundation and the tone. Any questions or comments or feedback on the branch journal at this point? Okay. So moving forward, make sure you have it every time you're with us. If you're not, then just put it in this one of these 5 numbers and just leave it here if you feel like you might forget. All right, let's transition. Summer of 2018. So the diagram that Jeff drew for you guys at the Q meeting, as far as the this is the work versus pay. So the work is over here, and the income is over here, right? So, or let me draw that over here. Work up here, okay? So the work versus pay. So this is May, June, July, and August, okay? So as far as just so you have an idea of what it's looking like, you know, in May, the work is super high, or I don't know how to draw this thing. Okay. But hopefully it will make sense. So this is the work one. The work is high for June, July, dips down, and then levels out in August. That's the work, okay? As far as the income, this is the income down here. The income off the office is a steady increase, and then it eventually drops. That's essentially how it goes. So your work and income doesn't really start making sense until post SC1 push, transitioning into SC2 push. That's when you start seeing the rewards. Why? We got to build our damn team. We have 2 reps. We launched 6, we have like less than 10 active reps right now, right? For us to put up, I put it up on, I have it in my journal. So let me put it right here, okay? I'm bouncing around, but I just want to show you. For us to put up $100,000 sales week, okay? $100,000 week, we need approximately 1,000 demos, okay? For us to do 50,000, you, I kicked it, damn it. Yep. All right, so let me just keep going. $50,000. So they're still on my phone. They're still with me on my phone. $50,000. Get back up. Why we did that is 500 demos. So to have a $50,000 sales week, okay, let's start there, because 100 grand, we've never done 100 grand. Our biggest sales week we had was like 80 grand. We did it twice last year. So we will have a 100K week this year. Like, it's gonna happen. But 50 grand is 500 demos. How do we get 500 demos? I just arbitrary numbers, nothing crazy, nothing like super complex, but we're gonna do reps over here and then demos set. How do we get to that many? I said if we had 10 reps doing 15 per week, if we had 15 reps do 10 per week, if we had another 15 reps do 7 per week, and another 15 reps doing 5 per week. This equals 150, 150, 105, 75. That's 480 demos. And this is 55 reps. So in order for us to have a shot at a $100,000 week, you could do some math and more. So we have got to put in the work right now, setting up PRs, targeted recruiting, sending 3-way text messages, Facebook messaging. Recruits don't just grow. It's not like we just get them from outside somewhere. We got to go after them, right? Just like demos. They're not calling you for demos. As much as we have the best opportunity in the world, in my opinion, for a college kid, they don't know we exist unless we find them. That's it. 55 people. How many we have? Under 10. That's what we need to do in May and June. That's what we're here to do, specifically May. That's why we're here on a Sunday, cranking calls, sending text messages, doing what we're doing. I don't care about the people that get mad at me. I'm not playing my sport, my game, for the people that are booing from the stands. And if you're an athlete, you know what I'm talking about. That's not who we play this sport for. I don't care about the hater. Haters are going to hate. They're going to do what they do. That's what they do best. If we didn't have them in the life, whatever. That's what they're here for. But we've got to show up to win the game. What's the game? How fast can we get 55 reps on our team so we could have our first 50K week, and then we could talk about 100K week. You with me? So we got to work hard right now. I don't care how many hours. I give you a projected schedule. I have a projected schedule for every one of you. But the fact is, we need outcomes. We need outcomes to make this happen. So I have that's number one as far as our work versus pay scale. Any questions on the work versus pay concept and how that makes sense? Cool. Let me transition into personal selling for summer of 2018. Personal selling. There's 3 things that I want you to think about underneath the umbrella of personal selling. Number 1 is daily selling activities. Number 2 is weekly benchmarks. And number 3 is push goals. Those are the 3 things I want you to think about when it comes to personal selling. Daily activities. What are the daily activities that you can make sure that you are doing on a consistent basis to make sure that when you begin to actually get in front of a customer and sell, you are prepared? I love that Dylan's in the room because he could understand that there's working in the business and working on the business. And you're working with Dylan so you can understand this. You're working in the business, working on the business. And you need to have certain days where you're doing which. And daily activities are not necessarily just doing phone calls or organizing your attack list. Every morning we have Champions Club, 8 to 9:30. Every morning. Dylan, when he was a brand new rep, was here every morning. We drive down from Tarpon Springs every morning, was here 7:30, 8 o'clock, would be here till about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then he would go about his day to get good at the job. I expect every one of you that if you are not selling, or if you're selling that day, to invest a couple of days, Monday through Friday, especially in the beginning stages of summer, to attend those Champions Clubs. I'm open to talking about Zoom. I did Zoom last summer. I'm open to that. I'm open for us communicating about that. I just don't know how effective it is, and I don't know how it compromises the integrity of the office, but specifically the 2 of you who were here last summer, we can talk about it because you guys came here, and that's why you're still in this room. If people Zoom, they're not in this room, so we can talk about it. I'm open to it. I'm 100% open to it. But that's one Champions Club. Attack list prepped, skills check, and skills set. Here's the question: what do you listen to when you're driving your car? I'm okay listening to music. I like listening to music, but at the same time, if you're in your car and if you have an hour drive here each way, that's 2 hours. If you have a 20-minute drive here each way, that's 40 minutes. That's a lot of skill set that you can get done in that drive. Their Vector Connect has an audio library of 700 audios and videos, and then our YouTube channel has tons. I love that Tyler Condon posted on our branch group. He's like, I listened to Mike's scenarios, the scenarios videos I recorded. He's like, I got more inspired just by listening to them. And it's like, it's basic stuff. He's like, I can't wait to go teach now. That's what we want. We want to get you excited to go out and sell by listening and teaching and listening to some of these videos. If you haven't checked this out, they're all under 5 minutes. I created a whole series of under 5-minute videos for scenarios. And making phone calls, of course. And another one that I think is most underrated that we're going to make sure we give airplay this summer is field training. Field training. If you're not on a demo and you have one or you don't have one, go reverse field training. Like, how cool would it be to go watch Josh in action? It's like, hey, I wanted a demo at this time and I didn't get one booked. Hey, Josh, I'm going to tag along with you and watch what you do. Instead of calling me while you're during your drop down, I'll be right here next to you if you need any help. I'm not saying do that, but man, that is a valuable, valuable tool. And what's in it for you? You just tell them, hey, just give me like half the recs. I'll help you. Just give me half the leads. I'll help you lock down the sale. I'll just take a few of the leads. Right? I'm not saying do that every week or every day, but what a valuable tool for you to see what your reps are doing and how to help them improve. Or vice versa, take them with you on your appointment. So, and you'll see how inspired you get when you see your rep who does an awful presentation and they drop like $1,000 order and you're like, what the hell? And you're like, I got to get back in the field. I got to do more demos. Like, this is ridiculous. I'm overcomplicating this job way too much. I just saw this rep do a shitty appointment and go sell $1,000. I got to do more demos. You'll notice that. You'll notice that will happen. It'll give you confidence. So daily activities, number one. Weekly benchmarks. If you're considered a full-time assistant, the expectation is $500 to $1,000 a week. If you're considered a part-time assistant, your expectation is $1,000 to $2,000 or more each week. Okay, so part-time, 500 to 1,000, full-time, 1,000 to 2,000. As far as push goals, everyone gives on a low end of a 10K effort to a 20K plus effort. And what do I mean by effort? Is I really focus on the amount of appointments and the amount of effort it takes for you to create those appointments for you to get there. What does that look like? Somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 to 50 appointments, depending on the push. Morning efforts of showing up to the office, doing your morning phone time, all day call days, all the efforts that go behind pushing yourself to the limit. That was Will's breakthrough last summer, making 200 plus phone calls at Phone Jam. That was a push. It wasn't about the CPO numbers, about who he became in the process of pushing. And my expectation is that everyone finds that unlocked potential. I believe we'll have our personal best as an office 20K last summer. I believe that we will have more than one person sell 20K in a push this summer. I really, truly see that. Now that you set the foundation of like, oh, okay, someone can do 20K in a push, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Other offices, they have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 push performers. We just haven't had that. We have multiple 10Kers, but we haven't had that 50K push, 2.5 week push, right? I'm excited to elevate to that place. Why not us? If we're supposed to be the best office in the company, #1 Silver Cup champion, why can't we have some of the best reps too? We could do well as a team, but we have some best reps. You got to think it first. So weekly benchmarks, push goals. Why is it important for you to sell? Let me open it up for you guys. I know it's a lot of me talking. Why is it important for you guys to sell? Give me some reasons. Mason, you put your pen down first. Tell me, why is it important for you to sell?
Well, why are you selling to coaching reps if you get to
100%. That makes you a better coach. Why else? Well,
Supplemental income.
yeah, you got to make money. That's how you make your money. You're not an assistant manager because you want the money. Don't get me wrong. It's exciting. It's good. But you're an assistant manager, so that way you can become a better sales rep and also sell. Not just here, but in life. Right? You sell better. Make more money. I love it. Why else? I have a list. There's a word that some of you need. Confidence. Confidence is, in my opinion, the #1 out of everything. Because you make more money when you're confident. The new Dylan Fitz, the 3.0, 4.0 version of Dylan Fitz is confident. If I put it into one word, the reason why Dylan Fitz's average order was like 160 when he was selling, when he was a baby rep, versus now approaching probably 500, 600, 450, so even more. It's confidence. Confidence and expectations. That comes from repetition. That comes from actually doing the job. Why else? I have a list. Why else is it important for you guys to sell? For assistant managers to sell? Leading by example. Yep, that's one of mine too. Leading by example. Why else?
Shows your confidence in what we know is including science, etc.
I love it. It's confidence in the science. It's proven. It works.
These people actually buy Cutco.
It's proof. I got a list.
Things like kind of business.
It's your job. Yeah, I put that under standards. That's like, it's a standard. It's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. Let me give you a couple others. Recognition. I want you to feel great every week. I promise you, Trey and Shannon did not feel great every week when they were getting common checks and it was off of office pay. And I promise you that when Trey finally had like $1,000 a week and he's like, nice, and it felt good. I want you to be recognized for your sales performance in front of the team, not because you're just really good at running interviews or really good at coaching or talent scouting. Like, I want you to be recognized for your sales. It feels good. Networking. Your customers are the ones that are going to help you with future job offers to get those networked and get into these good areas with these customers. When you're down the line, Dylan's ultimate end goal, if it's still the same, is to open up it's not called paintball, what was it called? Airsoft. He wants to open up an airsoft business where young kids can have a cool place to go, and he wants to own this business. It's not, but he's using Cutco as a vehicle to eventually get there. And we mapped that out a couple of years ago. And this is the vehicle to help him get there. And that's exciting. We also say conviction. That's another word. Conviction in your product. Conviction in your Cutco product, and also conviction in the Cutco job. When you're recruiting someone to the job, when you look at your friend and your friend says, are you serious? You really want me to sell matches? Like, dude, look. Yeah. Look at everything that I'm getting from the job, of course. Selling Cutco is amazing. It's flexible. I just won this trip. I work with great people. Yeah, definitely. So conviction is really important too. The stories. What about stories? When you're coaching, you're like, oh, I just had that happen the other day. Versus, oh, that happened to me like 6 months ago, 7, 8, 9 months ago. Yeah, that happened to me 9 months ago, right? Right? Stories. You want to lead with stories, lead with confidence. And it helps you become better coaches that we talked about, networking, right? There's tons of examples and reasons why. Pretty simple. I know one or two of you are like, all right, Mike, we get it. I'm going to sell this summer. But there's one or two of you that need to hear it every single week. So as far as your projections, as far as what we want to get accomplished, remember, summer's already started. 500 to 1,000 a week to $1,000 to $2,000 a week. I challenge everyone else on the staff to try to keep up with Mason. Mason is our sales rabbit for our assistant manager team. And no pressure on Mason. But I believe this guy, I would bet money he sells 50 grand or more this summer. I would bet on it. And I would challenge everyone to just kind of rival what he's doing on a consistent basis. You don't have to be him, but could you at least try to kind of rival? He's working directly with Dylan, so Dylan's influencing his sales, so let Mason kind of influence you guys. And that's why I'm bringing in Madeline on Wednesday. She's the #1 student in the country. #1 student in the country, okay? In her category, in Mason's category, he's number 10, she's number 1, and she's talking to the team this Wednesday night. So I want you guys to get influenced by really good people.
You're telling them to rival what he's doing to produce those results.
Correct.
So basically,
Yes, rival what he's doing to produce.
don't be jealous of the CPO. Just look at what like the phone calls he's having. That's what he's saying.
Phone calls, skill sets, his communication, questions he's asking, just how he's thinking about the sales process, how he's thinking about phone time. I think that's important for us all to think about. So, all right, let's move on into income projections. So that's what you guys care about. Let's go to income projections. So I put this right here at low, medium, high. So these are income projections for the summer. Last summer we did right at 400 new business. That's our benchmark for this summer. I believe if we did that last summer, as long as we followed the same plan that we did, we'll at least do that again. And I would say that's still a successful summer. It's the best summer we've ever had. We competed nationally. It was really good, but that's our low. I think our potential offers us a $750,000 new business summer. We have the team for it. We have the staff to do it. We have the culture. We have the communications. We have everything where this could happen. Fort Lauderdale and Miami, Metro Miami, they're going for 800 to $1 million new business. Brian Hellman did $1 million new business summer, so it's happened. Okay, it's been done. It just takes a lot of things to work really well. Okay, we can get there, but I put the low. So if you're a half percenter, 1%, 2%, those are your numbers off of our new business totals, just to kind of give you an idea off of office. A half percenters in the office. You guys, half percenters are in here Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesday nights. That's it. Wednesday nights you're in here anyway. So it's really your office responsibilities are Sundays and Mondays to get 15 PR set up. And then throughout the summer, you might have 3 to 5 reps you're coaching. That's a half percenter. That's it. And you learn behind the scenes. You support whatever we need in the office. And but your job is to really go out and sell and work behind the scenes. And we're going to essentially pay between the $2,000 to $4,000 range. Essentially, is what it ends up breaking down to as a half percenter. It's almost like an internship, but almost like a paid internship for a half percent. As far as a 1%er, your same thing as a half percent, except a 1% will be in the office for 1 extra day. So essentially, maybe it could be 2 half days or 1 extra full day, just to help with behind the scenes. It might start learning coaching more reps. It might start learning the interviewing process. And a full timer, 2%er, they're in the office 6 days a week. 5.5 days a week, some along those lines, doing coaching and working on WhatsApp and really helping behind the scenes on a tremendous level, lots of commitment from the 2%. So those are the numbers as far as that goes. The personal CPO for the summer, low, medium, and high. Low. Every assistant manager's expectation is to sell 10 grand minimum for the summer. We already know that. Minimum 10 grand. That's a no-brainer. 20, 30 onto up to 50 where Mason's thinking on the high end. So those are your low, medium, high as far as your sales projections. And each of you are at least at 25 to 30%. And on the high end, I guess, where's your bonus levels at? Are you 35, 40? I don't even know. So you're 40. So 40% on the high end with bonus. So as far as your personal projection, it just depends because each of you are at different commission levels. but I'm going to use as far as the 30%. You have, so that's like another 3K. It's another 6K, and it's another 9K, somewhere in that range. The expenses for summer kickoff, SE2, and any other miscellaneous expenses is going to be roughly about that 400 range. The difference for SE2 is you get table knives. So you'll get an 8-pack of table knives that you sell for cash, so it offsets that cost. But then there's like, the bus fee or whatever it might be. So that expense of 400. So you're looking on a low end. Every person on our staff should make no less than about $5,000 this summer. That's a low. Now, I know everyone's business plan says, I want to make at least 10, I want to make 5 figures, I want to do that. But let's call it what it is. You get the best experience possible. You work in an awesome environment, learn a ton, and you're pretty much guaranteed making at least $5,000 for the summer. I would say it's a pretty solid summer for you and your age group for sure. The upside potential of what you can earn, well, you guys could do the math. It goes as high as $20,000 or more, which is nice, which is exciting. So I'm sharing this with you because what you do when you're in the office influences these numbers. The amount of PRs you're setting up, the amount of demos that we're creating, the amount of personal selling you're doing, it all influences all these numbers. So if you're focused on how much money am I making, focus on what am I doing to produce the numbers? What am I doing to produce daily functions? And I promise you'll make a lot of money. Any questions on the income projection as far as the office or the selling? Any questions on that before I transition? Please.
The dividing up between startup and what
That's next. That's what I'm doing next. Okay. Yep. So that's a good transition. So the next part is withholdings. My withholding expectation is different than Jeff's. Okay. Jeff is he trusts you guys more than I do. I don't trust you. I don't trust you with your money. My last summer staff is a perfect example of that. They had $10,000 in their withholdings at the end of the summertime because of me, and I guarantee you 100%, if I had those kids have that type of money in their bank account, there's no way in hell they would have had that money at the end of the summertime. So I don't trust you. I don't. And it sounds bad, but I find that people, as soon as they get money, they like to find a way to spend it. I would say Mason's probably the only one that I feel confident with because I sat down with his dad, and his dad was like, yep, he still has $10,000 or whatever the number is, $8,000 sitting in his savings. I don't have to give names, you are, but that's not the case for everyone across the board. So I just like to make sure my expectation is we withhold 100% of your office pay, 100% of this number for the summer. That's my expectation is 100%. I'm okay talking one-on-one. We'll establish a one-on-one game plan. I'm okay with that because if you need money, you go out and what? You sell. If you make 30% what you do, you sell $500, you make $150. That should be enough to satisfy your fund money for the week. That's my expectation. Okay. I want to teach you how to save. People say, "Well, Mike, I'm working hard. I deserve money." I'll tell you that is the mentality of your friends. That is not the mentality of a successful business person and a smart business person. You work and then you reap the rewards, kind of like a farmer, right? They don't see one little crop grow and they're like, "Give me the crop," and they don't start digging in the rest of the farm. Where are all my crops? No. They reap during the harvest season, and that's what we do. And our harvest season is fall. Okay. And that's my expectation. You save. We want you to save. You work your ass off like a farmer this summer, and then you reap the rewards of that savings at the end of summertime. So my expectation is 100% of your office pay. And I'm suggesting, not mandating, you withhold your bonuses as well, your monthly bonuses. I'm not mandating that one. And then during pushes, not mandating, but again, a very heavily suggestion, is during SE1 and SE2 pushes, when you increase your sales, is to withhold at least 20% of your commission as well. So that way during a push, you sell $10,000, you make $3,000, you withhold 600 of it. So that way you don't just get this influx of capital and you don't know what the hell to do with it, so you spend it. That's my suggestion. And then at the end of the summertime, you take all this money that you earned, whether it be $5,000 on the low end or if it's $20,000 or more on the high end, and we split it up into these 3 buckets. And these are the projected percentages depending on how much you earn. Startup of 40 to 50%. That's essentially keeping that amount in your withholdings. You might say, why? Because I'm not a fortune teller, but I do know that running a branch office is a fantastic option, and it should be in everyone's go through college plan. And that's, let's call it your lemonade stand money, okay? That's the money to help you with your lemonade stand. That's the money to help you buy your lemons, get your wood, get your table set up, get everything set up, right? That's what that money's for. It's yours. It just sits there. It's there in case you earned that opportunity. It's there, and it's an email away to get. The other 40-50% is your personal expenses. That's your guns. That's your travel. That's your car. That's your whatever it is that you are going for. Your college money, whatever it is, 40 to 50%. And then investments and taxes, I put 0 to 20% because it might be 0 if you're on this lower end of only earning $5,000. It might be $2,500 startup, $2,500 for your personal expenses, and you don't have enough left over to invest. And you probably didn't make enough money to have to worry about taxes because you have too many write-offs between mileage, cell phone, all the expenses where you have to worry about it. Okay, so that's an expectation there. But on the high end, you make 20 grand this summer, 15 grand this summer, then it would be 40, 40, 20. Because you're going to want to make sure you put 20% away for taxes, and then whatever you don't pay for the taxes, then I would reinvest it because you ain't planned on paying it to the government anyway. You might as well give it to, instead of Uncle Sam, you give it to your future self, and you put it into a Roth IRA, put it into some index funds, and we could have that conversation. That's my proposal. We could talk one-on-one about your specific plan, but that's what I think is going to be in your best interest as a smart business person. Coming from someone who bought their first house when they were 20, okay? And also went traveling and had ridiculous vacations and did a lot of really cool things, okay? Coming from me, I'm not your financial advisor, but I do think it's important to take some of those lessons that I've learned in my adolescence and that Jeff has learned in his adolescence to help you guys have a good foundation for your future. One summer can make a world of a difference. So does that answer your question? Okay, we can talk one-on-one. I'm open to talking about it, but that's the suggested path that I'm at right now. Cool? Any clarity? Anybody need clarity on that? Cool. All right, let's transition. So we want to transition. If this is all what we're setting up, let's talk about what is a successful week. We want to set up this week. We're going into this next upcoming week. Let's talk about what is a successful week. What are the things that we can control? The things that we can control for a successful sales week. There's really 3. What are the 3 numbers that we control that we need to influence on a weekly basis? So what is it? So demo management, right? So demo management is 1. PRs. So PRs, our cycle PR number is 2. What do you think the other ones that we can control? There's really only one more that I care about, and we just talked about it for the last Facebook messaging is 1.
And our personal stuff.
The Facebook's 1, but not the one that I'm like. Oh, come on. Will this work or what? That's a weird angle. Yeah. Okay, that works. What was the last thing you said? Personal selling. Yep, that's the other one. It's not up there. That's what I was seeing. It's up there. Your personal selling. So what are the 3? The big 3 that are going to move our business that we as a can control. What are the big 3?
Demos.
So demo management from our team, right? So demo management from our team. All right, this is $20.
Yeah, I try to do that on virtual demos. Set my phone up on the charger.
It's just when it's on the charger. It's
yeah,
not
the
as
charger.
convenient. Okay. So demo management. You can write down this number: 100 demos equals $10,000 in sales. That's our benchmark until we prove it otherwise. That includes cancellations, reschedules, no sales, along with sales. 100 demos is $1,000 in sales. So, or 100 demos is 10,000. So 10 demos is 1,000. Staff personal selling. Your number should add up to at least $5,000 in sales each week, baked in the cake. after SC1, when we promote another 4 to 5 AMIs, that number will go up, okay? But on average, staff, all of you, should average to be at least 5,000 plus each week baked in the cake. And then personal cycle hit, that should be between 100 to 150 PRs set up each cycle from this room. Those are the numbers that we can control. Now, the Facebook messages, that influences that number. There's other things that influence those numbers, but those are the numbers we track. So every week, our big 3 of what's moving the business, what's moving the needle of our business, are those 3 things. And those are the only 3 things that we need to manage. So Will and Chelsea are going to be in charge of demo management. So that means Mason, Ryan, RJ, Jesse, Taylor. Your responsibility is anything that has to do with demo creation, whether coaching, you need to go to them because they're going to be tracking every demo on one of these trackers. So this is how we can keep track of how many demos we have. How are we pacing towards, 500 demos or 100 demos or whatever it might be. And this is what we're going to be tracking. So they're going to have this, but they need to be in the know. So every single day at 10:30 a.m. and 10:30 p.m., those are their 2 benchmarks to update me on our demo counts. So it's your responsibility to communicate that to them. They will be coming out to you and letting you know the best way for you to communicate that to them. It's going to probably be through WhatsApp, just so you know. All right. So demo management is 1. As far as our PR cycle number, we already talked about that. We're doing a great job. We just got to continue doing a great job. As far as staff personal sales, that's coming from our weekly agreements. So how do we execute this on a weekly basis? This is the next question. I need you all to be open to accountability. Okay. I have this accountability with my branches right now. Jeff has it with the division as well, and I want to have it with you. And this is something great that you can use with Surge as well. Is a big 3 daily. Okay, a big 3 focus each day. So I asked you guys to listen to Tony Robbins' RPM audio that I sent you, and I appreciate Chelsea for being the first one to get me that, and then and then Will and Mason and Ryan getting me it before the deadline. That wasn't like a school assignment. That RPM, I have that audio, the 10-day audio. We did part of it during the push in the beginning of the year. I listened to the whole thing. That CD cassette or that CD set is like $500, right? So you got the Cliff Notes version, the 15-minute version with the document I sent. But I'd really like to know your feedback on the results planning method or the rapid planning method from those of you guys real quick before I tell you what my expectation of the big 3 is. So you listen to the audio, any feedback from listening to it?
I mean, it basically just like the planning thing, like before you schedule a demo, like before you plan to schedule it, so that you already have the mindset, and you're like, if you're going to go into a demo, plan to sell a homemaker, and then you have the mindset that you're going to sell a homemaker.
So you control the thoughts before the activity.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's very well said. I agree. So essentially, you're premeditating the outcome before you go into the activity. Good. Any other feedback on that RPM?
I really like the 80% why, 20% how. So like you just, before you do something,
the 80-20, right?
Yeah, you focus on the whys, like focus on the outcomes. So you determine the outcomes before you
take the
action steps.
And the purpose, right? So you know what I want, and it's like, why do I want? Why this is important to me, right? I love what he said about going into a call or a conversation, because we do that in our business, right? Did you catch that part where he talks about, before I go have this conversation with so-and-so, what is my outcome? What do I need to get accomplished with this conversation with so-and-so? That's our coaching calls every Tuesday. When I came in tonight, I was sitting down, I did all this planning, and I had all this mapped out. I was like, all right, we run out of time. We're running out of time. What are my outcome? What is the most important things that I need to get done? So I made my list, and then I put a little check marks, like, all right, these are the most important. Then out of those, I was like, okay, if I had to narrow it down, what are the ones I need? I only have 90 minutes. By the way, Jeff ran this meeting 6 hours. This meeting is 6 hours in Jeff's office yesterday. Okay, I took it and I'm condensing it to 90 minutes to honor all of you. Okay, so that's not because Jeff runs long meetings. It's just that I had to figure out, because of all of our schedules and everything, I had to get it down to 90 minutes, and it was challenging. But I had to figure out using an RPM model on how to do so. So I love that. Any additional before I transition into why this is important and why I wanted you to listen to that? Why you tell me, why did I want you to listen to that before I transition into my big three communication with you on how to make sure that we get these three? What were those three outcomes? Number one is what?
PR set,
So PR cycle number.
demo management, personal selling.
So demo management, which is, this one is like 100 to 150 depending on the week. This one is 100 demos equals 10K for every 100 demos. And number three
Personal
is
selling.
personal selling, which is a minimum from the staff is 5K plus. Those are our numbers. Those are a big three. So anytime that you have, so why would I want you to focus on your RPM? Why did I want you to listen to that? You think like Mike for a moment.
Well, I feel like if you're going into like the last couple demos of a week and you're sort of lagging behind, maybe you had a few no sales, you had some cancellations, you need to get into the mindset of selling and confidence before you get to the actual demo and think to yourself, okay, I need to sell 2,000 more of these 4. And you just use the RPM and you tell yourself like, okay, I'm going to sell $2,000 in these demos, and then you give yourself a confidence boost, you give yourself the mindset to go out and do it.
Yeah. What do I have to get accomplished, right? For me to stay on track for what I need to do, I don't need to go in and sell a signature set every time. Like for me to stay on pace, if worse comes to worse, I could drop down slowly and show them gift sets. And if I sell 3 gift sets on this appointment, I could still hit my goal. So 3 gift sets, but I'm going to shoot, of course, for whatever it might be, and like kind of getting your mind wrapped to where we need to be. Love it. What do you think, Charles?
It
And then
provides clarity on what you have to get done.
Yeah. So that process, you can get clarity before you send to me of what your activity is. Not just I'm doing this today, Mike. It's I'm doing this, but here's why. Excellent. You're gonna say?
Like the outcomes over activities, but in the mindset of I have to get set 10 PRs today, do it in 2 hours. Like just kind of understanding what you need to get done.
You got it. I don't see you all day. Yeah, like that's not my goal. In the past, it sounds weird, but that was like the goal of an assistant manager is just be here all day, every day, all day long. So I say it was like, I'm telling you, we might have to go back to that. If this flexible mic doesn't yield results, we might go back to that, and you might not like it very much. So that's why you got to get results with this flexible model, so that way you don't have to meet the mic that strangles the business to make sure that we get results, right? I don't want to be that person. I know you don't want me to be that person, but bottom line is, we have some goals we got to hit. These people are counting us to get results today. So why is it important for the big three? Everything you just said is I want your daily big three sent to me on a daily basis, right? With those 3 things in mind. So because every one of you only have 1 day off. That's what we technically say have 1 day off, right? And we also have the agreement that if you hit your sales goal and you hit your numbers before, the end of the week, you could take those selling days and then you don't have to sell on those days unless you choose to. Like if you're going for a scholarship or if you have big goals for the week or if you have good prospects that go and see you those days. So that's totally fine. But I still want a big 3 each day. And I want us to have communication on that to have, number 1, forced accountability. And number 2, I want us to produce outcomes. So here's what I'm projecting or proposing to you guys. I'm proposing that you send me your big 3 that you're focused on that is under these 3 umbrellas each day. Now, just like your reps clock in with you before what time? 10 a.m. I'm proposing we could start with this by 10, but if you send it to me by 10, like my day's like halfway over, right? But I know right now it's tough. So I'd like to come to an agreement. My branches send this to me by 7:30. I need this to in order for me to help them. They need it to me by 7:30. I'm willing to go 8. I would say like 9 the latest. And you can say the night before if needed. But if I can wake up to your big 3 focus for the day of these 3 things, of, hey, if you're only selling that day, I just want 3 things that you're doing with your personal sales business with that daily activity that I gave you. So you can premeditate, all right, if the day fails, at least I get these 3 things done on my personal selling day. If you're in the office, 3 things are your outcomes for the day, your RPM for that day. That's my proposal. I'd like to start it tomorrow. I'd like to start it this week, where you send me this and we can agree on a time. I'm proposing 8 is a number that I like. And that means some of you have high school anyway, so you can just send it to me right before you go to high school. And you send me your big 3 focus for that day. Is there any objections, comments, concerns, questions on this? And the 2 specifics are these 2 guys that are on the Zoom right now, because you guys are away at school. And bottom line is, I want to capitalize on mornings. And some people like to sleep in, and it's totally cool. But here's what I'll tell you: a smart business person doesn't sleep in. A smart business, so you want to go own a business one day and you want to sleep in until you figure out, like 2 in the afternoon, hypothetically, So if you want to sleep in, that's okay. One day a week, like a Sunday. But it's not something that you want to do on a consistent basis. That's not the habit that you want to model. Or that's not a habit that I want our people to model. And I want to create smart business people. So I'm proposing by 8, you send me a big 3 of your focus for that day. Now, while the 2 gentlemen over here are still at school, I still think we want to do an RPM and a big 3 focus and still get your outcomes, increase communication. I'm using that because everyone on this group right now, let's call it everyone's cool with me being blunt in this room. I think our communication on this group is how many times did you see me have to post at someone's name just to get a U sign posted up? Let's say that question different. Could there be more use my time, effort, and energy than to request, hey, did you read this? Post your U. If you want to give you a list, to make sure that people are reading a post on our WhatsApp group that is really critical, so we can all have a healthy discussion during today and be able to set it up where, okay, I understand the value of an RPM, so Mike doesn't have to sell me on it. I already see the value for us to do a big 3 daily, right? You guys see that. You guys see it. How many times do I have to ask for the same thing? Several times, right? I'm not calling people out, but I need to help you understand this is a critical component, in my opinion, for us to steer the ship. I was you guys are green. What does that mean? You're rookies, right? Very much rookies. I help you up. I feel like that has been a little micromanagement there. I'm not saying forever, until we get our ship corrected. So I'm going to ask for agreements first. If you're completely opposed, I'm not going to judge you, okay? But I would at least question of, okay, if they're not, then let's have a different agreement. Big 3 focus for the day of how you're going to move these 3 days with the business. Verbal yes? Unless you have activities for that night.
Right, but if it's an off day,
If it's an off day, you have no activity on the day,
and we've hit
and you hit your marks for the week. So here's the clause. Here's the asterisk on this. Goals for the week. You report numbers. You hit your agreements. No activity for the day. You don't send a or do I need to work you don't need to have it or routine? Why do we have reps clock in for every day? Yeah, right. So we got 3 day in a row clock in, so that way we can establish routine. That I agree. I don't need this one day, and then all of a sudden chasing you down for the next 2 days. That's the only concern. Does anyone see Mike's perspective? Does anyone agree with Will and says, okay, my grip, you break pattern? All right, no deal. One person. I could go there.
It's fair.
Is that fair?
I think that's fair.
Is that
So I have a question on that, like
Sure.
to clarify.
sure?
So like just an example, my off day is Thursday, and so like I would have to have everything done by Thursday every week to not have to send that, or like
So what do you
Similar
think?
with me, where I have the same question where like my day is Friday, but my selling is Saturday.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what if I already have my 3 demos booked up? Is that
Then what? Well, so here's a good question. Okay, previous day.
before then demos booked?
So the day before, it's like, hey, I'm not gonna send my big tomorrow because I already did mine. Or just send the big 3 the night before, as long as it's before 8 a.m. You can send it the night before. How easy is that? I know it's tedious. I wouldn't be asking this if our communication this last week was on point. And it was good, but it wasn't perfect. It was good, but it wasn't perfect. We need to increase it. And essentially, I need to force you to don't check your say that. You must because you can be your then probably have those big 3 to say. Force you those big to think like they need to think what I think and move the ship without being resented at the same time be affecting the results. Verbal yes?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I do college bound guys over there that have a very tough time with the WhatsApp communication. Verbal yes, big 3.
Yes.
Yes.
Very resentful yeah. Very. So I'm not going to go to the point where there's consequences if you yet. Oh,
That's 10%.
I can come with a list. I can come with a list. Like, so, whatever, whether it be a financial list, like if you miss a day, you put $5 in a pot, and then everyone else gets lunch on you the next week.
Sunday meeting.
I would also put it if everyone does it, it might put in money. And I buy you something for that week, so we could do a financial thing. It could be something. It could be fun. Like something fun, but at the same time, nothing that gets results. Right now, let's see what we can get done until next week. Okay.
Cookies for the whole team except yourself.
Everyone gets cookies except you. All right, let me transition. I have 2 last topics. We'll see if we can hammer through in the next 7 minutes to get out right on time. To drive this focus big through, to drive this, there's 3 things we're looking for. We have a conversation with Jeff weekly. Who knows what time your conversation with Jeff is each week? Monday morning at 9 a.m., right? So Monday morning at 9 a.m. is your conversation with Jeff. Now, if you're still in school, you probably need to communicate that to him, right? He's not a fortune teller. So who has class and who doesn't. My expectation is that you guys have college but don't have classes that conflict with 9 a.m. So you should be on the call. There's nothing that's been communicated with me otherwise other than sleeping in during that time frame. And that's the assumption. That's not necessarily what's happening. So that's what we said, 8 o'clock. So your time is 9 o'clock your time, right? The only ones that I know have school are RJ and Chelsea at that time, at this moment in time. So tomorrow morning, the expectation is that you guys would be on the call 9 a.m. with Jeff to help move these big 3. That's communication number 1. Communication number 2 is your big 3 with 8 a.m. to move these big 3. And the lastly is a communication with each other on the staff group, because everyone knows what your goals are for the day and how you're moving the business, because we're all in this together. So everyone knows when Chelsea posts, sent my 50, it's okay to put some flames. It's okay to put like COI. It's okay to be you go girl. It's okay to do stuff like that and support each other. It's like, thanks for helping the team. We're all doing this together. Shit, I got to do mine. Thanks for reminding me, Chelsea, being on top of it. I'm okay with stuff like that. So those are the 3. You get once with Jeff a week, you get once with Mike a day, and you get all of each other daily. That's how we're going to move this thing. That's how we're going to increase our commitment level. That's going to make sure that we have our effort, and that means that you guys are coachable. Remember the big three that we circled around in the beginning? Communication, willing to be coachable, and effort. That's why we're doing all this. It's all encompassing. I planned this whole meeting around those 3 words, if you couldn't tell, because that's what got us results last summer. Again, think like Mike, right? Cool. You have a thought, question, comment on that? Jeff's call.
Oh, I have AP test in the morning.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah, AP actually.
Okay.
Oh, no, never mind. I have an afternoon exam. Never mind.
All right. The planner.
I'll be very drugged from getting my wisdom teeth out.
That's fine. You could dial the phone number and listen.
I think
Okay.
I'll make some there. Is what I'm saying also.
You need that to Jeff. I mean, like I said, this is to him. This is his call. So if you were going to miss one of my meetings like this, I would want to know well ahead of time, but I'd like to know sometime better than never. So those are the 3 things. That's for clarity and accountability. Before I rapid fire miscellaneous, before I go through miscellaneous, let's kind of look through your notes real quick. Put little stars next to the outcomes that Mike wanted to get done today. Okay, the most important outcomes that Mike gets done today, if you didn't know, was number 1 is to get your agreements for this next week, and number 2 was to set up our big 3 for this next week. Get a new agreements and set up a big 3. Did we pick up on Mike's outcomes of what he wanted to get accomplished today? Some of you are like, Mike, you could have just told me that. You didn't have to keep me here for 9 minutes to get that done. Those are my builders. I think I love you. I got skeptics that need the influence. So whether it be, let's recap what we got done. We got the small actions daily working. We got the new agreements. We got what makes us unstoppable, the big 3 that makes us unstoppable. We got is this the best time to be in this organization? What the future of the business looks like, implementation of the branch journal. We got the work versus pay flow chart. We got the responsibilities of personal selling, daily, weekly, and pushes, and why it's beneficial for you and the business. Went through income projections and the withholding expectations loss at the end of this time. We defined what success week looks like. We executed, refocus. Went through how do we calculate a $50,000 sales week. And we talked about the clarity and accountability with Jeff, myself, and the staff in order to make sure that we have effective big 3 on a daily basis. Those are all the things we got accomplished in the last minutes before I go through our miscellaneous list. Let's go around the horn real fast. Biggest pull, biggest take, something that landed with you that you're like, okay, I needed to hear that was good. That was good. That was important. I needed to hear that tonight. So let's go. We'll go right across same order. We'll go Will, RJ, Chelsea, Mason, Ryan, and then we'll go to Taylor and Jesse. And then if Brenda, if you want to chime in at the end, it's cool as a guest.
Personal selling. I really want to get back to that. So
that was a big light bulb for you.
Yeah.
Good.
Communication.
Good. We're going to go 1 word or 2 words, I guess. Okay, cool. I'll take it.
Are we unstoppable?
We are unstoppable. So that review on that. Good. Mason, and then Ryan.
Small actions daily.
Sad, right? Hashtag sad. Good. Ryan?
Like the like going back to selling, but now you're not just selling for yourself; it's also leading by example for the other ones.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, everyone below you. Then we'll go Taylor, and then Brenda, if you want to chime in. Or Jesse and then Taylor, my bad.
Communication through WhatsApp and personal selling.
Yeah, I was pretty much going to say
Excellent. And you guys said the same. That is shocking. You guys said the same thing.
I said it first.
I'm
I said it
bewildered.
first. It wasn't planned.
Were they this close in school too, in high school?
pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, let me wrap it through. We got 120 seconds rapid fire. Number 1, red zone. Red zoning the office means getting the office set up for the next day before you leave. So we want to red zone the office before we leave tonight, for example, specifically Sundays and Wednesdays, because we have like chaos and papers all over the place. We just want to get it recruiting ready for tomorrow, okay? Recruiting ready is a red zone. We take out the trash, we throw some stuff out, and we just get the office ready for the next recruiting day. Next one is a parent night. I'm trying to do a parent night. I want to make sure that I meet all your parents, I want your parents to meet me, and I want your parents to meet each other, and I want you to meet each other's parents. So I want to try to get that accomplished, but it looks like to get everyone's parents together and all the kids together at the same time, it looks like the possibility could be potentially a Tuesday, May 22nd, a Thursday, May 24th, a Friday, May 25th, or a Saturday, May 26th, which is Memorial Day weekend. So these are like the possibilities that we would want to try to shoot for. I'd like for you all to ask your parents. I'd like for all of you to look at your schedules, and I'd like for all of you to let me know, I would say by Wednesday the latest of that week, essentially the week of the 21st through the 26th, which night that week for me to buy and cater a food truck to either come to the office or someone's at someone's house, and we'll just kind of have it catered. We'll have a bunch of food. It'll be fun and simply a social and a mixer for your parents to ask me questions, for me to get to know your parents, and for them to kind of understand who's working closely with you throughout the summer. I think it's important for them to meet each other and network a little bit too. So that's my proposal for one of those days for parent night. Next, this is the last simple thing is don't call stars on Vector Live. So unless asked otherwise, very simple miscellaneous list. So never call a star that's on Vector Live unless I ask you to. And last miscellaneous list is when I introduce you to the training class, it's important to have one thing in mind and one thing only, and that is to instill confidence. That's it. Your role as being introduced to the training class is to instill confidence. It's not to look good. It's not to be in the spotlight. It's always to instill confidence into them. And what instills confidence into them is this list. Seeing your best 5 first 5. Make your first sale, first appointment. 10 appointments your first weekend. Call your coach for deals. Follow the training manual. 5 foods. Write down the prices and call everyone on your list. So that way, when I introduce you, it might sound like this. It might sound, so this is Mason Linker, build you up, build you up, build you up. Hey, Mason, if you could go back to your first weekend on the job, what would you do the same or what would you do different? Well, what I would do different is I would read the training manual. I kind of improvised it, and I lost a couple of sales because of it. I would just read the training manual word for word. What would you do the same? Well, I would see my best 5 first 5 because those 5 bought a ton of Cutco, and it really built my confidence a lot. So I would encourage you to do exactly what I did. See your best 5 first 5, like something like that. When I asked that question, hey Mason, how many appointments did you do your first weekend? I did 6. If you could go back to that weekend, what would you do? Oh, I would have definitely done 10. I would have canceled all my plans. I would have gotten in front of 10 people. You know, it's all underneath like an umbrella of like that. So this is my miscellaneous list. So thank you guys for your time. Rapid fire, real quick, last rapid fire. What do you appreciate now? So what do you appreciate right now? Under 10 seconds. What do you appreciate now? Under 10 seconds, go.
Just some clarity on moving forward and where the business is at.
Excellent.
Pretty much same thing, just clearing up what like the processes are to do.
Excellent.
Pretty much the same thing, just learning all the processes behind the business.
Excellent.
Same thing. I don't want to say it makes sense.
So clarity.
Yeah, clarity.
Clarity. I know what you guys are gonna say, but I'll ask you now. Clarity.
My family and having a meal every day.
Two knucklehead. So
Can I please?
please, 10 seconds.
All right. I think that what you developed here is something that has a kind of respect for the culture. And I think that's what you're trying to communicate, that there's a respect that we need to bring to this culture.
I agree. It is bigger than just you guys. So thank you, you two gentlemen. I appreciate it. And everyone else for your time. Apologize, getting out close to the time, 5 minutes late, 4 minutes late. So thank you. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon.